Hello and welcome to episode 2 of today's complaints. My name is Brad and I'll be your host. As usual, we here at today's complaints will never ask you to like, subscribe, or hit any kind of a bell because we don't want to waste your time. I'm not saying please don't ever do that. I'm just not going to ask you to because I don't like these YouTube videos where you press play, you would like them to get to the point, they have a long introduction, and then they always have to include this, and as usual, if you like what you see, smash that bell, subscribe, hit the like button. We're not going to waste your time with that. Another thing we do here at today's complaints is we don't edit. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know how to edit. So it's just going to be, or is, just the raw footage. So what's today's complaint? I've already forgotten. Seriously. As I said, we don't edit. I literally forgot what I came on here to complain about. That's really sad. Oh! Thumbnails. That's what I came on to complain about. And I'm going to do my very best not to smile during this video. Because I don't know anything about making YouTube videos, and so I decided not to get too caught up in all the details. I would just make the video and upload it. So I know there's a way to choose the thumbnail, and if you don't choose the thumbnail, some sort of an algorithm just chooses it for you. And I noticed that it shows the point in the video where I was smiling. Okay, damn it, I just did it again. I was determined not to smile during this video. I wanted to see what the thumbnail was going to look like. I'm so disappointed in myself. So, I don't know why I'm complaining about thumbnails. If I'm too lazy to figure out how to make them. That can't be. This is a failed episode. That's not a valid complaint. It's my fault that I won't research how to make my own thumbnails. And it's not YouTube's fault that I'm too lazy to do it myself and then I'm just going to let them do it for me. So today's complaint is that I have created a failed episode. But it's only episode 2. And the first few are never any good of any show. Like you watch Friends. I'm not saying that this show is as good as Friends, but it's almost as good. And you look at the first season of Friends and Joey looks really weird. So that's my excuse, is that we get all this leeway in the first, few, like I figure I've got about 200 episodes before this has to start getting good. Otherwise it's just not worth doing. So they're going to get better. I'm really optimistic about this channel doing well and me coming up with some sort of material that's going to be entertaining. The best thing I've got going for me right now is that book right there. I love that as part of my back. What is that? Oh, that's the... Okay, I was about to ask, what is that line? I'm sorry. Truly. Let me concentrate here. What was I saying? The book. Right down there. Cosmogenesis. If you love the same TV show I love, if you're the type that has every season and you've watched every episode 10 times, then you've seen that book in the background of probably every episode of that show. So I love having that bold hardcover copy that sits on the shelf of my favorite TV show. In fact, I recently did a small cleaning project, and everything on that shelf is stuff I love. Well, I want to make sure. Yeah, like The Voice New Testament. I'm not super into theology or anything, but I was watching a YouTube video trying to figure out if how reliable the New King James Version is, how it stacks up against other modern translations like the New American Standard and the New Revised Standard. And I get this Southern evangelical pastor who's saying, pretty much every translation is good, except of course The Voice. You want to stay away from that. So based on his accent alone, I had to buy The Voice, and I love it. It's like written like a script where, it won't say Jesus said, it'll just say Jesus colon, then quote. But then the parts that are not dialogue are really clearly written, so clearly that I'll see something I've never seen before, and then stop and open a more reliable, what I consider to be a more traditional translation, like the New King James, and have to read for myself how the more traditional translators chose to word that. I'm discovering stuff that, I was raised in the church, and there's all these stories that I thought were just secondhand, not secondhand, but had become like second nature. You hear them so many times that they're just part of your memory. And the voice brings out stuff that I hadn't ever noticed before, and that causes me to go to more conventional translations just to see what they say about the same sentence or paragraph. Well, I sure have strayed from my original goal, which was to come on here and talk about complaints. I didn't even have a good one. It was about thumbnails. And I guess my biggest complaint is I was going to not smile on this video so that I could see what YouTube came up with as the default thumbnail. But then I smiled, and I'm afraid every one of these is going to have my goofy smile. But the first couple hundred are never good. That's going to have to be my motto. The early episodes are never good, so don't worry about it. They're going to get better. I guess I'm going to go. I'm pretty ashamed of this one. And I'm ashamed of the fact that we're getting close to 7 minutes. When I saw that episode 1 went to 9 minutes, I was determined to keep these all with like 2 or 3 minutes apiece. I'm going to work on that. I want to make them shorter. I'll just try harder, I promise. I'm so sorry about all this. Oh, damn it. Don't smile. Okay. I wonder if, would YouTube choose that as the thumbnail? That would be kind of cool. Let's try. Okay, but I need to be looking at the camera when I do it. Or oh no, I don't want that as the thumbnail. We'll see what happens. If wishes were horses. Yeah. Oh, what did Sheldon say on Big Bang Theory? Okay, so much for not smiling. One time he said something like, if ands and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. And of course I can't do it justice. I can't do the delivery he did. So that's complaint number 2. I suck. My channel sucks. But it's fertile ground for the subject matter. So good day. I've given up on trying to figure out how to hit the stop button without looking at the stop button. That's just going to have to be my trademark. Like, look, a stop button.